Hello, I'm back again to do my craft trolley tour. So I hope you can see me alright from there. I'm trying to do this in my sitting room, so just bear with us. This is my craft corner, by the way. So I still have on top my two finished objects, which I always sit and look at them for a bit when I've done them, just to see if I should have done, you know, if I could make any improvements. I never do. I'm always happy when I've looked at them for a couple of days. I'm fine with them. At the top, I've got a cross stitch kit, which my husband bought me for my for Mother's Day from my cat Shirley. That was to, you know, I'm trying to go back to crafts that I could do at one time. None of which I've done since I was a teenager, but I'm hoping to do some. So I bought a ring to put that on. Just plucking up courage to make a start. Here we have these are stitch markers that I don't actually use. There's my Crochet Society ones that I got on Simply Crochet magazine, and some like these with the I don't know what they call that type of clip actually, but they're hinged anyway. I get them from Good Vibes Yarn when I make an order there. They send them one complimentary. My pin cushion. I have got my original ones upstairs, but I felt like when I started crochet I thought I'll have a new one, and I got the iron one because my mum loved ironing. I just thought it just gave me a little kick, because I like to think my mum's watching over me while I'm trying to do my cat crafting. I don't like ironing, by the way. My husband does all the ironing in this house. You know, it's one of his jobs. My materials, which I showed you the other day. Post-it notes. I keep my stapler. You know, when I print off a pattern from Etsy, I'd staple it together. Hole punch to put it in my file if it needs to be hole punched. Tape, because you do use tape sometimes. My little pot, I've got a needle threader, which I don't get on with that one actually. A new set of needles that I bought, which have got like they're a bit finer, they're a bit better for putting buttons in. I've got these sort of needles. I've got one missing. It'll be downside a chair somewhere. I haven't actually tried using them yet, but I'm sure they'll come in one day for something, because sometimes if you're using really thick yarn, you need a bigger end, don't you? By the way, I keep my absolute staples in this right next to me all the time. So I've got a few stitch markers to hand. I have my needle minder, which I love that. It says it's too peoply out there. So that's that. I love that thing. So that's there. I've got my all-time favourite hook that I use for amigurumi. My favourite scissors, and these are my favourite needle minders. So I've got not needle minders, needle threaders. My clover one, which is good, but it won't go through a small eye. And this one that I've just bought, and I can't remember the name of it, but it's the something fox, and that is absolutely brilliant. So that has become a fast favourite. So that's that there. Right, carry on with this. So my little bunny watches over me. Caroline sent me that, which I absolutely love it. I have it. It's got a cover, which I keep with it, but I like to stand it up so it's like a little mascot. Sits with me all the time. So yeah, I love that one. Of course, my buddy bear, which proved that I could do amigurumi, and he sits and watches over me. I have some double-sided tape, which I got when it was the lockdown, and you know, for mass when you were you steamed up, I I used that because it's skin friendly, so used a little bit of that on each side, and I were able to work with the mask on. Post-it notes. We all need post-it notes for marking patterns we're using or have done or whatever. Staples, of course. I've got some small glue dots, which I don't use glue very often, but I have a progress book, so I get little photos and attach them into the book with them. One of my pots, just an highlighter. I've got a Pritt stick. Like I say, I rarely use glue, but that's a natural one, so it's good for environment. And I have a thing of blunt needles, which they're all like chrome or stainless steel or something. Then I've got the sharp ones that, sorry, I do apologise, that's my sharp needles. My blunt ones are in here, they're same material, chrome or whatever. And then these are aluminium with a rounded bent end. I don't actually use them. When I started doing the crochet, I got a few different types, and you sort of settle on what you like, don't you? So I tend to use, like I've just got on here, I've got, both of mine are actually sharp ones that I use, the larger one and a finer one. Those are the two that I prefer to use. I do get out other needles if I need them. So that's that one. I've got some more of my little plastic stitch markers. I've got a few googly eyes in here. I took that away when I was doing some random acts of crochet kindness, you know, the leggy frogs. Those are the light bulb ones which I use when I'm doing blankets. These little pots, by the way, you get quite often when you get a scone with jam and butter or a scone with jam and cream when you're out and about. So I don't always believe that they'll recycle them, so I bring them home to either recycle or to use for things like this. The Faithful tape measure, which is, this is one I bought myself, and I really like this one. It's lightweight, of course, but it's got a jog on one side and a badger on the other. See, wildlife is never far away from me. I keep things like that on this little tray in here. It's just got bees on it. Oh, it's got bees on it, so yeah, that's that one. Then at the back, these are what I usually cover my jars. They're just like jam jars and what have you that I cover to keep my things in. I need to get on with it and make some for my plain ones. Got these in it were a chocolate bouquet. They just had chocolate bars on top, so I kept them just in case they were useful for something. That came in a plant again. I thought it was maybe useful for something. I've got my stylus for my phone, which I hardly ever use. Got a foot file for some reason in here, and my good scissors. These are my really good scissors, so like them. This pot, just random things really. I've got my letter opener, which is Charles Rennie Mackintosh. I've had that for donkey's years. I've got a lint roller, which I've yet to use, but I understand that it's good if you need to get some fluff off your amigurumi. Got 2 pairs of clippers, which aren't my preferred things for using, but I thought if I ever go abroad or anything, it might be a handy thing to take with me. Got a rainbow pencil, which I bought at the Manchester Jewish Museum, which was and I absolutely love this thing. It's so fun to write with. A pen that's from Inverness Caledonian Thistle Football Club in Scotland. It's my husband's Scottish team. My pencil with rubber on the end. And this one I got I bought it as a charity item in. I bought a card in a shop, and they asked if I wanted to buy one of these for charity. Well, the pen's not very good at all, but this end is brilliant, you know, on cheaper safety eyes to push the backs in. You just put it over the back and press down on an art surface, and it's really very good for that. This is my Crochet Society mug that I got in one of the boxes, which I use for my favourite hooks. I've got a load more, but these are the ones that I use most of the time. And these are all Clover Soft Touch and Clover Amore. There is one that's a Serdar, which is in 2.25 millimetres, which I have used for something, so I got that just because I didn't have one in the others. So and they're very reasonably priced and they're not a bad hook actually. So that's that shelf. Then onto my middle shelf. This is of it. I keep my book that I'm working from for my bear and what have you, and my started the foot last night, and my hook that I'm using. I've tried all sorts of ways of keeping my things. Some things I have in a project bag, canvas bags, cotton bags. Other times, if it's not going to be a long project, I'll just keep it on the trolley, you know. I've got my notebook, which just my notes to remind me of things that I'm doing. You know, I've got to do or whatever. I've also started writing notes for doing the channel videos, because just a few pointers, because you know what memories are like. They let you down sometimes, don't they? And then what else? Oh yeah, if I take a pattern off of YouTube, I might write it down in one of these. I've got loads of these notebooks. I write it down in this, you know, with the name of the pattern, who I've got it from. Write down the instructions, and then instead of having to watch the video again, I just take it from here. This book I bought at Hobby Crafting when we were down in the West Midlands. I've got loads of patterns for wildlife, but you know, I just couldn't resist. So hopefully they'll come out at some point in the future. It's like, you know, that, as we've said before, the list of things you want to do just gets longer and longer and longer. This is my progress book that I started this year. I've got one for the last 2 years as well elsewhere. So like whatever I've done basically, like that was when we did the bear crochet along. I just keep a record of, you know, what pattern was, what I used to make it, and the hook and everything like that. Generally remember to do it as soon as I finish the project. If I don't, I'm in trouble because I can't remember what I used. This is my favourite goodies box. It's made out of recycled plastic and it's really strong, it's brilliant. It's by a company called Wham. So in there I've got all beads, buttons, what else have I got in here? Oh, I've got my little tokens, like when I did the Boston Terrier, I put a little heart on its collar, which I've got a load of these that I won't be able to get it close enough to show you, but it just says made with love. Buttons similarly, and made with love. Toggles, which I use for some gift bags. These are one of my favourite buttons. I've actually used these on projects. It's a little cat. I've still got some left. Not many, but I've still got some. I've got some butterflies somewhere. So, lots of different coloured butterflies. I'm going to use that on one of the collaborations. I changed my mind, but I can't remember which one it was now. I've got some plain flowers, I've got some polka dot flowers, and then I've got some flower shapes with flowers on themselves. These are the ones I'm going to use for my brown bear. So that's that. It's one of my favourite boxes to play with, is that one. Then I've got, these are some of my staples. So like I've got brown, white, black and red cottons, you know, just in case I need to do noses or around eyes or things like that. These are some of my cheaper safety eyes. These are like my mid-range ones. They're very good. I find when they've got the white hard plastic backs, they are a lot better than the ones with squidgy backs, which is like those. Those you can get hundreds of them at a time for about the same money. Excuse me, from Amazon, but they're not very good. They don't like to stay on at all, and there's no way I'm going to glue them, you know, just to make them stay on. If they're not good enough to stay on their own, then they're not good eyes either. So, like I say, I've got a mid-range one and I've got my trimmets, which are the best of what I've found. They're the ones I'm sticking with now. I'm just working down those on my random acts of kindness. Got some hat pins, which are just like a long pin really. They come in handy, and they're thin, they don't damage the fabric, so they're useful to have. My googly eyes in all different sizes and colours. Yeah, that's as a result of the leggy frog obsession that we all have. These are the backs to my badges and brooches. When the Ukrainian appeals were going on, I raised quite a lot of money by selling things for the fund. I think it was the Disaster Relief Fund or something like that. It's run by Red Cross and such like. So it's just those that there's some that's got like a little wheel at the end that I find them unreliable. These I've just simply got a nook that goes through, and that I find them a lot more reliable. Sticking with them for future. You can see, by the way, that were absolutely rammed and it's nearly empty now. Just how many things that I made to sell for it. Those are a cheaper one, but they're not quite as bad as the other ones. They're just a little high. This is my mismatch box. So this one's got my little pre-made little cottontails for bunny rabbits. I used them on the free pattern from Hobby. I've got some glasses ready to do my iconic women. I've got some of these kawaii eyes. I've got them in different sizes, but I've never used them yet. And then, if I ever do a proper frog pattern, these are trimmets, googly eyes, so they've got a proper back. So they're brilliant to those. I don't at the moment I've no need to make one, you know. So or should I say rather, I haven't got the desire to do it just at the moment. These are mostly trimmets eyes, so these are cat's eyes, teddy eyes. I've got some blue doll eyes, like those there, trimmets. They've got really good quality backs. Yeah, my teddy eyes, I've got a few sizes in brown. That's a trimmets back. You hear a proper snap when that goes on. And I feel like they're more secure. Then these are, I think these are, again, half and half trimmets and the new ones I've found, which are a mid-range one. And they're all brilliant. These are keepers, definitely. Then I've got, these are like my odds and ends that I need. So these tins I bought at least 20 years ago, probably more. I've got a larger one that I put some memento, it must be more because my dad died. He died in 1995, so it's 28 years ago. So, and I got it when he died to put some memorabilia that kept, you know, just things like it. One of the ties he used to wear a lot when me and my dad used to go to the theatre and to see plays, and you know, he was the one that took me to museums and things like that. My dad was always into the arts, you know, so he used to you know, he'd dress up, you know, because he was a man of a certain age, so he wouldn't go out without a suit on if we were going to the theatre, and you know, you never saw him without a proper shirt on, you know, so he was a very smart man. And I'm just looking for a picture. it's hard to show you really. This is one of the ones I keep in the lounge of my dad. It's for when he was a young man. He'd just been to come out of the RAF at that point. Love my daddy. I miss him so much. Can't believe I've gone 28 years without him. But anyway, don't get maudlin, Pamela. So that's my magnifier. I have just some safety pins there. A Crochet Society tape measure. I've got some of those rubber thumbs or fingers that you can use if you're doing anything with a sharp edge, you know. A row counter. Got some invisible thread, which is so invisible it's impossible to thread on your needle. That's that one. I've got this one is my bits of ribbons and such like. I've also got things that I've made for amigurumis, which I didn't keep with it when I was selling them all. You know, so I did a charity stall once, or when I gift them, if I decide it doesn't need it, I won't send it with it. So, but they may come in handy for something else. Ribbons that I've bought, things like that I got for Easter. These come off my pyjamas that I have, my favourite brand of pyjamas, and Bon Marché to the British people. And they used to be BHS, but poor BHS went under. So, but yeah, they always come with those wrapped around, so I keep them because I think, you know, if I ever need a white ribbon, you know, it's perfectly serviceable. Got things like these. I think these labels came in Crochet Society. They might have come in on my Simply Crochet magazine though. I've just got loads of ribbons and embellishments. I bought this once when I was in a pound shop, and it's, you know, I just thought if I ever do something that needs a big bow on the back, I mean, I'm open to suggestions if you can think of anything I can do with that on. I'd like to keep it as it is rather than unravel it. I don't know, but it's so pretty. So I thought, yeah, I'm having that. It might have been B&M actually rather than Poundland. Then this one, this is Queen Elizabeth's Platinum Jubilee. I always buy something when it's one of the royal events. I buy something to keep, you know. Used to be posher things, like I used to get like a mug made by one of the, you know, the good China companies or whatever. But I haven't got the space in this house to keep loads of trinkets now, so I tend to just buy something that's serviceable like this, you know, or, you know, anything that I can use. This one's got my pom-pom makers in, so that's just my instructions for the pom-pom makers. I've got 4 sizes, that's the biggest. Some furry pom-poms. One of them's trimmets and one's just come in a Crochet Society box. That's my box that I use for doing tassels or fringes, you know, wrap it around that. I've got another, that's another fringe or tassel maker that I've got. I think I got that with Simply Crochet magazine. This came with Simply Crochet magazine blocking board, but to be honest, I don't look anything, but you know, never say never, like we say with everything. Why is it things don't go back in the same when you've taken them out? I don't get that. Come on, Pamela, it must go back in. What came out must go back in. Right, so that's that one. That's that shelf done. Then we've just had this with the Crochet Society box, and this is going to be, I took it to West Midlands with me. This is going to be my new going away Crochet Notions pouch. So I'll put my hooks in, scissors. I've got these in the last one as well, the set of needles, and I thought it's great that it's come in its own little case, so you know it can't hurt anything. So that is definitely my going away pouch. I can put my stitch markers, if I take any buttons, anything like that can go in there, and it's all in one place, and it's not going anywhere, is it? You know, it's all safely inside. That's that one. This is dishcloth yarn. Now, I don't know what they were thinking with it, but it's got some polyester in it. I really can't understand what they were thinking with that, because I've tried it as a dishcloth and it's not as good with polyester in it. Plus as well, my thinking is with us making dishcloths, it's supposed to be so it's better for the environment, so that, you know, if it's made out of cotton, it will biodegrade at some stage, you know. I can't understand why they put polyester in, but, you know, ours is not to wonder why sometimes. This pouch I keep my buttons in that I put on my amigurumis. I've also got in here the little handmade with love labels, which I've got like the jute string to put them onto, you know, if I put prices on. Like I said, I've only ever done one craft stall and that was at church, so whether I'll ever do another, I don't know. It's I can't remember what it was sold as now, but it's 100% cotton. It's multi-stranded, and I bought it to make, you know, the gift bags are made, and I use the toggles. I used this to pull the drawstrings through, and it's really good stuff because it's multi-stranded. It's really strong. The only thing I found, and I worked out to do, was when I was threading it through the holes for the drawstring, I put a bit of tape around the end to help it go through, and I didn't lose any strands that way. But yeah, it's really good. So they came in so many colourways, but I got a peachy one and a pinky one, well, blue and pink. So, and they pretty much, if you use like pastel tones, they'll pretty much go with anything. These are little butterflies when I was practicing doing stuff like that. These ones are in a purple variegated yarn. I've got loads of them. If I ever get this craft room up and running, they will make a garland to go across the window or one of the walls or whatever. These are all my bags that I use, my random acts of kindness, and my little labels that I put in with them. Then my various notions pouches and things. That one I came with Simply Crochet. That one came from my pen friend in Germany. That one came from my friend Caroline in America, and I still don't know what I'm going to do with it, but I will find something. What else we got? Oh, a couple more notebooks. A good friend of mine bought me those, the Jane Austen inspired, which Jane Austen was my first love with reading. My dad bought me Sense and Sensibility when I was 9 years old, and I absolutely loved it. And I've read all her books, and I wallow in everything Jane Austen. I've even been to some of her where she's lived in this country. I've had short breaks, and if you ever get the if you love Jane Austen, if you ever get the chance, please go, because it's so beautiful, all the houses she lived in and what have you. There's quite a sad story as well, because of course they didn't have a lot of money. But yeah, there's some lovely places you can go. One of them we went on to see places she went when there was the place at Charlton that we lived in. We stayed in Winchester in this beautiful hotel. Absolutely fantastic place, Winchester, and of course the grave is in the cathedral there. So these are silicone beads, which I got for the Obi or Obi bunny rabbits, because I don't think I told you this when I made them. They recommend that you put a few in the bottom so it can sit on the edge of a shelf or whatever, because obviously it's got like just got string legs, so it can sit on the edge of a shelf with its legs dangling, and it's quite stable. Then it's a bit like a bean bag. Then we've got this is a Crochet Society pouch, absolutely cheap and nasty. Why would you put that in PVC? I don't understand it all. Anyway, this has got a lot of my hooks that I've tried, full sets and all sorts, and I would use them if I need them for anything. They're still favourites. They're just not my absolute tops like these are. Then in this one, this is when I was telling you about buying the curlers. You know, I mean they are bendy because they're curlers, but you know I thought if I ever need strengthening for a neck or a body, I thought they might come in handy for that. So there's like various different widths for them and what have you. I suppose you could cut them, you know. So that is I haven't had to use them yet, but me and a lady from work we shared a pack that we got off Amazon because she does it as well now. And I've just got them for if I ever need them for anything. And then we've got my blanks for key rings, which I use that sort that's got a wavy edge. I've tried many different ones and those are my favourite. I've been through boxes and boxes of these. These are ones that I've used for doing the charitable things, for raising money for stuff. I mean I've made stuff for hospice, all sorts I've made, and then the lobster class ones, which obviously they make, I think they call them backpack buddies, don't they? They make really good backpack buddies. So just open like that, and you'll know them. They're everywhere. And I like make stuff for handbags with them and all, little charms for handbags. I'll get it fastened again. Yeah, that's that. Then this one. So this is my. I got these on PDFs and downloaded them, and then this is what I wrap around washcloths and dishcloths when I give them as gifts or to sell them for charity or whatever. So it's just for a dish or a behind, but not at the same time, which I find really amusing, but not everybody got. Then I've got these, which again, like I say, they were on PDF. So it's just washing, ironing, fabric content instructions. So if ever make a blanket or whatever, there's a charity that was started in Barnsley, which is my local town, called I always say Blankety Bank. I always want to say Blankety Blank because that's what it's a play on, and that was a TV show. But yeah, Blankety Bank, and basically make all sorts of things like scarves or hats or blankets, baby blankets, baby clothes, anything, and they generally give them to the food bank, I think, or if anybody else is collecting them, like an homeless charity or whatever. It's an absolutely fabulous idea. Right then, here we go. I'm a cart carrying feminist. So every Christmas my husband buys, and my heroes are the suffragettes that got us the vote. Up the women! So yeah, so this is the idea. If I ever have get my craft room, it's going to be in the theme of the WSPU, which is the Women's Social and Political Union, which of course was started by Emmeline Pankhurst. So their colours are purple, green and white. So that's the idea, that it's going to be in those colours. I've had this idea for a long time and I still haven't got round to it, so don't hold your breath basically. But yeah, I'm collecting all this stuff, and Nick keeps buying me these things and I absolutely love it. So these are some of the badges that they, the phrases and things they use. They have brilliant caption, like deeds not words, things like that. Then this contains a load of things that can be framed or used in, like I could do like some sort of collage or something. It's like a bookmark, which is phrases and like those for women. Then I've got some greetings cards, which are the same sort of things, postcards. So I've got plenty of things to put up if I get on with it. And that is the story of my life, if I get on with it. So that's that. Then I've got some arthritis gloves, which they are brilliant. I mean, you can feel that they work, but the thing is, I can't feel the arm when I'm working with it, so I just tend to have a few days off if I start getting achy wrists. I'm not saying it's arthritis, by the way, I just get achy wrists. But yeah, if I get like that, but I've got them for if I can ever, well, if it's ever necessary, you know, if it becomes more of a prolonged problem or whatever, I'll have to learn how to use them. I've got my defluffer, which I don't think they're thoroughly effective of these, but it will have its uses, no doubt about it. But it's not, when they show them on television or whatever, they make them look like they're absolutely amazing, and I don't think they are. Then, last but not least, the dreaded wool winder. When I started doing this or watching people, and they were all winding skeins and stuff, and I don't actually use that many skeins, so if I'd have waited a bit, I probably wouldn't have wanted this. But I mean, it didn't cost a fortune. It was one of the cheaper ones anyway. That's probably one of the problems. It's one of the cheaper ones. But yeah, I thought it might be something that I'd need, and the only things I found necessary to try and wind is like when you get to the end of cakes, you know, yarns of, you know what I mean, you know, cakes of yarn. You know, if I finish before the end of the cake, I just to wind it up so it don't get all tangled. But I just find it a really hard job to do this, so no, not for me. What else? Oh yeah, I'm going to show you my labels. I don't know if you can see them there, but obviously